So in this video, we are going to see how we can make use of determinations in ABAP Restful Application Programming model in unmanaged scenario. We have seen this video in our managed series as well, but there are some more things which we need to look for, and let's start. So very first thing is, what is determination? If we want to understand at a high level, determination is like when there is a requirement to determine the value of one field based on another field on certain conditions or certain trigger conditions. Like for example, in our example of student record, if we want to identify if a student is enrolled for computer course, how many years of that course is. So based on the value of course, duration field will be updated. If student enrolled for say electronics, then based on the subject, the duration will be updated based on your trigger condition. And your trigger condition can be create, update or delete, or it can be a field as well. If you want to trigger this determination based on any field or the change of any field, which we will see in this case, the determination will be triggered. Now this determination can be of two types, and one is on save and another is on modify. On save determination will trigger at the time of save, when we need to calculate and update the value of any field and show the updated value on front end after the actual save. So this can be a use case scenario when you want to go with on save determination type. And if you want to show the modified value onto the screen before the actual save happens, in that case you need to use on modify. But along with this on modify, you also need to use some other functionalities of RAP framework provided by the RAP framework to make it 100% true whatever it is written here. Let's see how we can implement determination technically. So we are in our Eclipse, and this is what we have seen in our previous video. We have seen about the validations. Now let's start coding for determination. So likewise, we have a validation keyword here. We also have a keyword determination to implement the determination, and after that the determination name or the method name which you want to create. So we are creating update course duration. Now the next parameter is on what method you want to trigger this. You want to trigger on save or on modify. Let's first see how we can trigger this on save method. So on save, and then there are a couple of options available. You can provide different trigger methods as well: create, delete, field and update. So for now, let's add a field on which field you want to trigger this determination. So our requirement is whenever user changes the course, the duration should be updated automatically. So our course field is this one, and close. Now our determination definition is created here. We want whenever this field changes, we want to trigger this determination or this method when save is triggered. So let's create the implementation. our implementation is created. And now quickly let's update the code here. So very first thing what we need to do is we need to read the entities, student entity, whatever the values coming from the front end. So same thing we have done in our previous video for validations. So I am copying this thing here and pasting here. Now in this requirement, I do not want to read all of the fields. So let's remove this, and the fields which I want is only the course field. So course field I want to read with whatever values coming from there, and student course. So we get our data here. Now let's put a loop assigning field symbol and LFS underscore and loop. And now here what we need to do is we need to check whether the modified value is what value is coming into this course field. If it is computers, then we will update the duration by 5. If it is electronics, then we will update the duration by 3. So that's what we are going to do now. For that, we first need to check the value of course field whether is equal to computers. If and the second would be if the course value is electronics. Now here we will be modifying it. So for modify entities of zi underscore student. Let's copy from here. In local mode, entity is student, and we are going to update fields. Which field we want to update? So we want to update course duration field here, and with what values? So value and hash. Now whatever the key we are getting from front end, based on those keys we will be updating the value. So key will be in percentage tky is equal to percentage tky is equal to, and which field you want to update? So course duration is equal to 5. Now let's copy this, and if it is electronics, then change the course duration to 3. And that's it. Let's activate this. Okay, we need to activate both because we have made changes in 2 different files. Okay, so now our code is activated, our method is ready. Now one thing here is, whenever we have also seen the same thing in the validation as well, whenever you are creating a validation or a determination using onSave method, then this will not get triggered directly or automatically when you click on the create button or save button on your RAP application. What you need to do is you need to call this method in determine action. So you need to call determination, and which method you want to call? You need to call update course duration. See, this method is available now here, and semicolon. So now this method or this determination will be called in determine action prepare. Now let's activate this. Our code is activated. Now let's run the application here. Refresh. There are no records available. Click on create. Let's create our first record. Student age and computers. Duration is 5. And create. See, our determination got triggered here. Let's do an F8. Our record got created for computers, duration 5, which we have updated here. Now let's click on the edit mode and change the course electronics, and I'm not touching the course duration here. We have made a change in the course field which should trigger the determination and update the course duration value automatically. So click on save. See, our determination got triggered here. Do an F6. F6. So course is electronics now. F6. See, this will modify, and see, our course is updated with 3 when the course duration is updated with 3 when the course is electronics here. So this is one way when we can trigger the determination on save. Now let's see how we can trigger the determination with on modify action. Now let's go back to our Eclipse here and go to determination, and the only thing which we need to change here is we need to change this method to on modify. And if we are changing this on modify here, then this method in determine action will not be available. If you see determination, see, we are not getting that method anymore here. Why? Because this will only get triggered, or this will only be used to trigger the methods which are created with on save method. So validate fields will be available, but since we have changed this method here to on modify, in that case this update course duration will not be available here. And now we also do not want this thing to be available. Now if you use on modify, this determination will automatically be triggered. There is no need to add that determination method into determine action. So one thing is this, now since we are now calling it on modify, we also need to update its definition in the class here. So this is the method. Here we were calling it on save, but now we are calling it on modify. Activate all. Okay, our class is now activated here. Now let's see how it behaves. Let's go back and click on refresh. Click on edit mode and change course to computers. Now as soon as you put a tab here, see, your debug will get triggered, because now it is getting triggered, the determination is getting triggered on modify. So on modify gets triggered when you change the value of a field which you have mentioned here. So you want to trigger this determination on modify of the course, which is happening here. So now we are in the debug mode. Click on F8. Now if you see, the value is not updated here. It is still showing 3 and I am not changing it. I am clicking on save. See, this value gets updated to 5. Now one thing here to notice is this value is not got updated as soon as I change this value onto the front end. But when I click on save button, then this value gets updated. Now my requirement can be, as soon as I make any change in the field, this value should also get reflected onto the front end. How we can do that is using the side effects. Side effect is another concept which we are going to use now with on modify method. So whenever you want to show the updated value onto the front end, as soon as you change any field, you need to use side effects. So let's see how we can use the side effects now. Go back to our behavior definition here, and along with this value, this determination, we also need to add another line here which says side effects, and on which field you want to trigger this side effects. So my field will be course, and which field you want to affect when this side effects gets triggered. So it should affect field course duration. This is what we are writing here. So this line says I want to trigger the side effects when this field is changed, and the change of this field should affect to this field. This is what we have written here. Okay. Now this side effect will not get triggered automatically. We need to make the behavior definition know that yes, I want to have the side effect functionality here. Let's first activate this. Now this got activated. Now we also need to tell the consumption behavior definition for this to use the side effects. So for that, we will go to this consumption view here, and just after use draft, we can write use side effects, and that's it. Activate. This got activated. Everything is active now. Let's see how it works. Now we go to the preview mode. Let's refresh this. Let's go to edit mode, and now change the value of course, which should affect the course duration field here. So electronics, and I'm putting a tab. See, our breakpoints get triggered here, and if I do an F8, go to preview, see our value got updated onto the front end as well. Let me remove the breakpoint. Now we have removed the debug, and let's try. Click on edit and click change the course to computers and put a tab. See, it gets updated with 5. And again, if I change it to electronics and hit tab, it changes to 3. Let's change it to computers 5 and then save. See, it got updated. So using side effects along with the determination, you can show the updated value as soon as you change the value of any field. The changed value can be shown without refreshing the page. Basically, the save is not triggered. So before triggering the save, if you want to show the values onto the front end, you can make use of side effects along with the determination. And that's all for now in this video. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you.